everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about making the best out of your NICU experience. My experience was a little bit different because I had mentally prepared for the NICU my whole pregnancy. A lot of parents are caught off guard with their babies going into the NICU, and that is so hard, and I cannot imagine. I think I had a better experience because I already had that possibility in mind throughout my pregnancy. But this video is honestly just to give parents some hope and some tips for making their NICU experience as best as possible. Just to give a little background, I have twin boys and they were born at 32 weeks and we were in the NICU for 33 days, so just over a month. So many parents are there so much longer. They are able to keep babies alive from like 22, 23, 24 weeks. So my heart goes out to you guys. I cannot imagine our NICU stay felt long enough. My heart is with you. I think NICU parents all have a special bond because we've all stepped into that universe and had our babies away from us. Okay, to get into the video, my first tip is to set healthy boundaries. While you're in the NICU, it is so hard driving back and forth and coordinating with family who wants to see them. I was getting really frustrated just trying to coordinate with like cousins and aunts and uncles, and me and my husband just had to set a boundary and say only immediate family is allowed to come, and they're only allowed to come once per day, because the other times I just wanted the quality time. I wanted to be able to breastfeed. I wanted to be there alone, just me and my husband with our boys. So once we set those boundaries, it was so much easier for us, and they understood and respected it, and it made our experience so much better. My next piece of advice is to create a schedule. Once me and my husband had kind of set our NICU routine, it made things so much easier and simple. So our routine was we would go every afternoon from about 10 o'clock to maybe 2 o'clock, and then we would come home. Well, he would go back to work, I would come home, take a nap, clean, do whatever I needed to do at home, and then we would go back in the evening at about 5 o'clock and stay until 9 or 10. So that way we were able to get rest at home. My husband was able to work, and usually we had family come for like an hour or so in the evening to come see them. My next piece of advice is to rest and heal from your birth. I had a C-section and it is a long recovery, and I am so happy that I had the time to rest and heal and not have to take care of my twins while they were in the NICU. And as hard as it is, it's such a good time to take care of yourself, and that is mentally, physically, everything. Next is to take advantage of primary nurses. So if you don't know what a primary nurse is, at most NICUs, you can request nurses to take care of your children. And we definitely had really strong connections with a few of our nurses that we absolutely loved. And we ended up having about 4 or 5 primary care nurses. They were all moms, they're all wonderful women, and my husband and I just absolutely loved and trusted them. It was so nice being able to walk in every day and see a familiar face instead of a stranger. To this day, I still am friends with a few of them on social media. It's so fun for me to see them and their kids and their lives, and then to see our babies and the progress that they're making. If you have a nurse that you genuinely click with and you feel like is taking great care of your baby, make them a primary care nurse so that you can see them more often. My next piece of advice is to trust your gut. This one is so hard because I don't work in the medical field and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. When it comes to you speaking up and being an advocate for your child, sometimes it's really scary because you're not the professional in the situation. But a small example of this that happened to us was one of my boys was falling asleep every time he was eating, so he couldn't ever get a full feeding in, which was stopping us from going home. And I suggested that we get a higher flow nipple on his bottle. And they kind of fought me because they didn't want him to like choke. They kind of had pushback, and I was like, well, let's just try it. And then we switched to a higher flow nipple and he was able to finish his bottle. It ended up getting us home faster. And so stuff like that, work with the nurses and doctors and say, what if we try this? Or I don't think this is right. Can we check into that? That's totally okay. They're your children. Trust your gut. My next piece of advice is to take advantage of your resources in the NICU. Our personal NICU had lactation consultants, they had social workers, they had so many people there to help you, physical therapists, speech therapists. While we were in there, I wish I had taken advantage of them more. I did talk to our social worker a lot. She was awesome. She was mainly there to be an advocate for me and my husband to make sure that everything was okay, that we had a source of income, that we had help paying our medical bills, stuff like that. The lactation consultant helped me because preemies a lot of the time have a hard time eating orally, and so she helped me nurse and pump and even bottle feed. Even though she was a lactation consultant, she still helped me with that. They are there for you to use, so take advantage of them. My next piece of advice is it's okay to not be there 24/7. It is so hard leaving your child every single day. It is okay to not be there 24/7. It's so hard, but you need to remember once your baby's home, that they're home, that they are in good hands. You need to take time for yourself, and it's okay not to be there all the time. My babies were my first kids, so I didn't have any other children to tend to, so it was easier for us. But a lot of moms have other kids and have jobs and other obligations, and that is okay because you're not leaving your baby alone. They're being taken care of. My nurses like to joke that they're the world's most expensive babysitters. They are in good hands, and don't stress about being there all the time. My next piece of advice is to take pictures, journal, document your experience. I am so happy that I took 1,000,000 pictures in the NICU because I can see how much progress my boys have made. I just look at their little 3-pound bodies and I see that they're 15-pound bodies now, and it's just incredible. It's so important to look back on that experience and learn and mentally process it and heal, because it is such a hard time, but once you make it through it, it is so important to look back and say, we did that, we can accomplish anything. Next, it's totally okay to accept help. If people want to help you with dinners or giving your kids rides places or running errands for you, getting groceries, take advantage of that help. I had a really hard time giving myself up and saying, yeah, that'd be awesome if you brought over dinner, or I do need help with this. I felt like it was kind of an ego thing for me where I was like, I can handle it, but in reality, it's really hard. My husband and I were at the hospital for probably 8 hours a day on average. There wasn't a lot of time at home where I could spare time where I could go and run and do these things, especially because I was healing from a C-section. It is okay to accept help. You're in probably one of the most vulnerable times of your life. You're mentally not at home. You're mentally at the hospital with your babies, so it's okay. Join a support group. It is so important to have others around you who have been through what you're going through, and of course every situation is different, but I joined a Facebook NICU support group, and it was so nice because I could ask questions and I could share my experience, and then I could look at other people's experience. We can just share our stories, and it was honestly more motivating than anything, just seeing all the other moms going through what I was going through. It was so awesome to see my baby's coming home, or my baby's off oxygen, my baby's off a CPAP, like my baby is taking oral feeds, stuff like that. It's just so fun to see from other parents. It's so motivating. It's so nice to have a group of women or even just a group of parents around you going through that and being able to cheer you on. If you were a first-time parent like I was, let the NICU be like a parent boot camp. And what I mean by that is it's okay to have the nurses show you how to do things that you don't know how to do. I have all girls in my family and my twins are boys, and I wanted help being shown how to properly diaper them and clean them, and that's okay. Your babies are so little and fragile, and it's kind of scary. Changing a diaper in an isolette is hard, and I had changed diapers before, but never on a baby that teeny tiny. And they want to help you. They want to be there to support you and take advantage of those cares times and change their diaper and change their clothes and take their temperature. Those are some ways that you can connect with your baby and bond with your baby, because it is really hard to bond there. The next piece of advice is if you're pumping like I did in the NICU, have 2 pumps. And what I mean by 2 pumps is like have 2 sets of pumping parts. You can have one that you keep there and one that you keep at home, so you don't have to lug it around. I wish I had learned this tip earlier on, because I had a backpack full of my pump stuff that I took all over with me. I tried to pump as much as I could while I was there, and it's just nice, and you don't have to drag a backpack full of pump parts everywhere, and you can just have them there. This next tip may seem kind of like a weird one, but have lower expectations, because if you are setting these outrageous goals and you're getting disappointed at when your baby's not meeting them, it's really hard. My babies were born October 28th and we really wanted them home by Thanksgiving. That was like our goal, was to have them home within a month. And it was just so hard because every time we felt like we were moving forward, something would happen and we would move back. Like, just have goals that are achievable so you're not getting frustrated when your baby isn't cooperating. And it's okay to be frustrated and it's okay to be sad, but don't set these major expectations and major goals for your baby that aren't reachable. And that sounds super negative, but that's kind of the reality, is babies will do things when they're ready, and that's totally okay. Be very positive and just take every new thing that they do and say, okay, we're closer to getting home. They took 2 milliliters more than they did yesterday. Celebrate every victory. That is all my tips for now. If you have more, please comment them in the comment section. I would love to see them. If you are a NICU parent or you are expecting a NICU stay, comment. I would love to connect with you. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, like. I'm just trying to grow my channel. I would love your support. Thank you so much. Bye.